In terms of how it's going to affect the Pete season, obviously that's going to cram up. First off, I think of it as a TV producer role. Like, we're going to be crammed into that second half of the season. It's going to be the same way for the Peterborough Petes at home. I don't think it really affects anybody at that point. Everybody's come to grips. This is something that has to happen. The corners in the PMC, obviously they're famous and league mandated. They had to update the shape of the boards and the glass, everything like that. I think everybody's come to grips with it, and it is what it is. In terms of that way to look at it, the news that I think everybody's starting to focus on is what's next. They know that there's this spending that has to happen at the PMC just to keep it running, and you see the quotes from the evaluation of the level of inoperability, I guess, what the arena's at. People know what it is, and they just know you need to move on eventually. But if you want to keep a 60-plus-year-old building operating, which I think there's only Kitchener Auditorium, which has seen massive upgrades and is a beautiful arena, beautiful stadium. And then in Sudbury, which is 1 year older than the PMC, they're moving on from that already. So in terms of the three oldest buildings in the league, that's where you're at. And everybody realizes you just cannot go on with it. So I think it's just kind of swallowing what's coming your way. Everybody knows what it's going to be. It's going to be difficult for the Petes to practice at home. It's going to be difficult for them to not have a home. But when it comes down to it, the team can probably rally behind not having a home from a playing perspective. And for the Lakers, it's really a bad break for them because in terms of that league, everybody knows they carry the league, but Cobourg is it's a beautiful arena. We work there all the time with the Cobourg Kodiaks. We're set up to broadcast from there, so if people don't want to make the trip, they can watch on your TV. Yes, of course. Same thing if it's at the Evinrude, and I know they want the ticket sales and the sponsorship, but I think Cobourg's the best option. And I saw the poll as well. I don't know what Don will have to say about that and what the team thinks. Obviously, they're not happy with anything, and I understand that as well from their perspective. It's a tough break, but I think people are eventually coming to terms that it has to happen.
Now, Jim, you're a Cobourg person, so I mean that arena wasn't there when you were playing there.
But I've actually never been inside that building. I keep meaning to go in sometime when I go down there. I'm just wondering, Allan, Dale said that, or Dan said that people have accepted it now and it's time to move on. The Lakers maybe not so much. When this first came about, you had engineering studies and people said they're wrong. And some council members sided with that view and said, those engineers are wrong, we want another study. And you got another study and the engineers again said, needs to be replaced. No great surprise that a 60-year-old arena, the floor needs to be replaced. What's the feeling at City Hall when council takes staff and engineering opinion and discounts it against what the people who would like to see this continue say, and delays and delays and delays, and in the end it gets done? Do you feel like they're getting too operational, they're stepping on toes, or what's the mood at City Hall when that happens?
No, I don't think the mood at City Hall changes with situations like that. I mean, we have to, and I recognize I've been doing this a long time, and elected officials have to be responsive to the general public, and they have to be responsive to our taxpayers. And I think at the end of the day, they err on the side of caution. So even if you get consultants and engineers and other experts saying that this is the way to go, politicians, just by the very nature of what they do, have to take all of the things into consideration. So I believe that their decision was really just to double check this. Let's get one other engineer to make sure absolutely that we need to spend the $3.5 million and that it's being done the right way. So not at all. I think that is just the way the political system works. And
you roll with it.
We roll with it. And we're lucky we have a democracy, and the way things work, I think generally the good decisions are made in the end.